The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome everyone to this edition of Insights. Today we'll be talking about a local food incubator that is helping Northeast Michigan entrepreneurs produce their products. And joining me today is Jim LeCure, who is the manager of Mrs. Glee's Gluten-Free Foods. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, definitely. So starting off, the incubator, what is it for people that don't know?
It's a certified kitchen. It's licensed by the Michigan Department of Ag. It's a place where entrepreneurs that are thinking about starting a food business can come and not have to buy all the equipment. And for a fee they pay on an hourly basis, they can rent it and do whatever they're going to do and package your product and go out and sell it.
Right. And so you obviously have your own business. What made you decide to open up a business to help other local entrepreneurs?
I was formerly with Michigan State University, and I was doing a lot of work on entrepreneurship back in the middle 90s. And traveling around the country, I saw other states had these incubators, and about 10 years ago, 2 of them got started downstate. And when I came up here in 2006, 2007, the area here, there was a bunch of people, a group of people in the Hillman area that probably started in the mid-90s talking about doing something like this. And once I got up here and I met with NEMCOG, Northeast Michigan Council of Governments, and Diane Rakowski, and then we talked about it. And they had a little pot of money that was sitting there for entrepreneur development. And so from that, we used that as initial funds to source some of the equipment here. And then there was a couple grants that they secured to buy more equipment and do some of the fix-ups that we had to do. So it started probably, we've been working on this hard for about 3 years.
Right. And so where did you see the need for this?
Well, I think when you go across I-75, there's all kinds of little food companies. You come this side of 75, and our business, Mrs. Glee's, is probably one of the few real food business. You got a couple wineries getting started, or a few wineries, but as far as a food manufacturing business like they have on the west side, there are not too many over here. And with the acreage that we have, small acres, high unemployment, an opportunity for youth to grow some fruits and vegetables on a small area and bring it to the incubator and process it. Senior citizens, people that are underemployed could grow some fruits and vegetables, bring it here, they could sell it at the farm market, but the extra could be made into something here and make a few extra bucks, you know, for their family.
Yeah, definitely a great idea. So how does it work exactly? A business comes to you, says they want to produce a certain food product. What do you tell them?
Well, we encourage them to work with Michigan Works or small business and get a business plan. And then we sit down and go through it and try to decide what equipment they're going to need, look at the market, look at their packaging, labeling. Because we're located here with Mrs. Glee's and we're doing all that, it's a way to kind of do some mentoring and tag along. We have a distributor downstate that goes to a lot of health food stores. If somebody develops something here, we've got a way for them to get right into this distributor and start marketing it across the state of Michigan. So you got to look at it all the way from the field to the market. And what we're trying to do is just help them to show them where they have to go at these different steps, what they need to do to get to it, so that they don't get overwhelmed and you know, throw their hands up in the air and say, it's just too much. Right. We can walk them through the process.
And also, it's a big money-saving tool for them as well, because in other words, they would have to buy all this stuff themselves, correct?
You're right. Now, there is a cottage industry law in Michigan that they can do it in their own kitchen. But they're limited to, I think it's $20,000 of sales a year, and they can only sell it at farm markets or at a roadside stand. They cannot go into retail grocery stores or health food stores. So if that's an option for them. But if they want to get into retail, then they have to come to a licensed kitchen, and everybody even though this is licensed, they have to get their own individual license to market.
Right.
And so we can help them through the process. We know the inspector, he's here quite a bit. And so, again, it's just trying to help them, hold their hand, walk them through the process to make it easier for them. But it's a way to start a small business, and who knows where it goes from there.
Right. And how much would this cost for local businesses to take part in this?
Well, right now, it's, you know, I think the license is $175. We're renting out the kitchen for about $7 an hour. When you look at one piece of equipment here that costs $2,500 used for one piece of equipment, and you may need 3 or 4 of them, that's pretty good savings. We have a group or a family that comes up from Holly, south of Flint. They'll be up here this weekend. They'll work Saturday and Sunday in here, and they make 3 barbecue sauces. And so they come up on Saturday and Sunday up here in northern Michigan, and then they go back down there and sell it in southeast Michigan. So it's cheaper for them to build their own facility.
Definitely. And so you spoke about entrepreneuring and mentoring those entrepreneurs. Why did you also feel that it was important to kind of help them along the process?
Well, in the last 15, 20 years, I've worked with several businesses. And I know all the stumbling blocks. Well, I can't say I know them all, but a lot of them. Yeah. So if I can help somebody avoid them, and I'm just kind of an entrepreneurial type individual anyways, and we've gone through Mrs. Glee starting it up, and we know where to get packaging, labeling. We know some of these things, and I guess it goes back to my old extension experience. And then we teamed up with NEMCOG, and they're actually the ones that operate it here. Okay, that's who funds it. Okay, Northeast Michigan Council of Government. And so with our other partners out there like Michigan Works and Small Business, and you got Target over in Alpena, and Northeast Michigan has some grants. We're just trying to bring all the network together to make it easier for people to do something, and it's just a way for them to make some more money.
And so for businesses that are just starting up, and I know the food incubator itself is just starting up, what do you hope to see in the future?
Well, I think if you look at Hart, down at Hart, Michigan, there's called the Starting Block. They've helped about 20 businesses come to the market. And I would hope that we could do the same thing. It's going to take some time, people to find out about it. It's going to take people a year or so when they start thinking about it seriously. Usually takes about a year before they're ready to go. But I think over time, we've got potential over here. Like I said before, there's a lot of small acreages, youth, summer jobs, underemployed people, seniors that want to make up a little more money. And I go back to when I used to live in a thumb 30, 40 years ago. There used to be a pickle company down there, and every little town had a pickle collection station. So people would grow from a 1/4 acre to 10 acres of pickles. They take them in every day, they get graded, they got paid. Pickles went on to a pickle processing plant, but everybody in that whole area, I had little kids at the time, and they were 5, 6 years old, and they were making money to go to the fair. So you had older people coming in, you had kids, you had families of all ages going in there, but it was a way to make extra money. And I see that this is part of that process here. There's a infrastructure we have to put in place. There's farmer markets. Now they need some place to produce the excess, take it to market beyond the farmer markets. And so it's putting the infrastructure in place so people can, have a better quality of life.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right, well, after the break, we'll talk to one local woman who is just now starting her business at the food incubator. Welcome back, everybody, to Insights. Now joining me is Katie Glumsky, who is a local entrepreneur out of Alpena County. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And so you're starting your business right now. It is not up in works, but how did you find out about the food incubator?
It was kind of a long roundabout trip, and I one morning decided what I wanted to be when I grew up, and started investigating, and the resources just weren't readily available. I did contact the MSU Product Center, who sent me to a number of places that help people get started, But it was really through our local chamber that I found out through Jackie Krawczak that NEMCOG was going to start this incubator in Hillman. So I came over, visited, saw the resources, and I'm going to have a small room in the incubator that we're going to build a laboratory for cheese making. And I will be making both organic cheeses and goat's milk cheeses. So
Fantastic.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you were saying that it was a process for you. You didn't know that this existed. And why is the incubator such an influential part of your process?
Well, when I decided that I did want to make cheese, I first called up my inspector to be. And as a new entrepreneur, you're going to have multiple people on your team. And these are the people you need to contact and really line up your ducks. There's a lot of food law out there that you have to learn about, and so I called the source and met with my inspector and found out that you needed to have things like drains in the floors and washable walls and covering on the lights. And then I went and visited the MSU cheesemaking facility and really got a lot of ideas from those folks too. So there's going to be a lot of mentors on your team when you decide to, whatever it is you want to be when you grow up. And those people will help you along the way so that you don't make the mistakes before you even start. You know, they can tell you how you need to do it. Yeah. So
where are you in your process right now?
I have a business plan.
Okay.
And the Small Business and Technology Development Center that's located in Michigan Works, Bruce and Laura have sort of looked over my shoulder and helped me through that process. And so now I have what I'm going to do down on paper with what it's going to cost, and that is going to the Target Alpena folks, Jim Clarich at the Chamber. And hopefully, we'll keep fingers crossed, I will be funded, and within a few months I'll be making cheeses.
Great. And so once you get funded, you are going to be making cheeses locally. Not only locally, but using local products. Why did you decide that that was so important?
I live here. These are people who are going to be buying my product. And I am not going to be competing with the folks that make supermarket cheese. I'm making artisan, and with my goat's milk, it'll be farmstead cheese. So it's handmade cheese, it's live cheese. And so it's a different kind of cheese. They're flavors you can't buy. So it's going to be unique, it's going to be an attraction, and through the incubator and through all of these people that I've been talking to, the chamber, and here David Post, you know, the village manager here in Hillman, they want entrepreneurs. They want people to develop products. And you know, I've had this idea and I've been working on it for quite some time. Now it's going to actually be available. And how exciting that is to take something that you do or have done really well. My kids have raised goats in 4-H for years and years and years. And what else do you do with goat's milk? You learn how to make cheese. And so I make mold ripened cheeses, I make soft cheeses, I make hard cheeses. They're flavors that you're not going to be able to buy otherwise. And so I've been talking with the wine and hops makers, and Jim and Helen at Stony Acre, and Mr. Saar down in Thunder Bay, and of course down here at Thunder Bay Resort with the elk viewing and all of the dinners. You know, it just makes total sense to make it a wine, cheese, and hops. I've developed my own products. I have cheeses that I soak in wine. So I'm going to be able to take our local winemakers' products, our local hops makers' products, and create cheese around that. That'll be a specialty item that nobody else has ever. So that's what's exciting, is to take and create and then make this Northeast corner a real attraction for people to come to and visit and try our products.
Right, and what I think is so great about this is not only is the incubator here locally for businesses to use, but it's also growing the local economy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to be starting out small, and slow and carefully. But I see down the road that in order to serve the entire area, I will have to grow and hire people. And so that creates jobs, you know, all off of this little hobby that I had, you know, called cheese making. And you know, it takes delivery trucks to deliver, and it takes people to package it. And you know, I'll be able to create and make those recipes with the skill that I've acquired. But it takes people to make things happen, and definitely it's going to create jobs. Yeah.
And so, you being a local entrepreneur yourself, what do you hope that other businesses, local businesses, will gain from this?
People who have ideas, and Jim was talking about it in the first segment, you know, that maybe you have a favorite family recipe, you know, that you use vegetables from the garden, and you can come here to the incubator and use their facilities and not have all of that expensive overhead. You're going to be able to focus on your product. And the advantage for me with Jim is that he has so much experience. And again, I'm talking about mentors. He got me to think bigger than just my little garage cheese making facility next to my home to now a business that is going to really make a difference in Northeast Michigan. And that's so much more exciting. Yeah, so there's a lot of hand holding. There's somebody you can ask your questions of. There's direction. You know, this is the place to come if you have that idea.
And so I know Jim is, with his company, has distributed all around really the country now. What do you hope for yours?
To first start to serve Northeast Michigan, and then we'll see where that goes. Who knows? With cheese making, it can go maybe Michigan-wide. I don't know. There's not too many cheesemongers. They're mainly downstate, but I would hope to maybe connect with a few of them. Yeah, and I'm part of the Great Lakes Great Cheese, the Michigan Cheese Cooperative as well. So that will definitely give me a venue. But you learn about those things as you start to research, and you have to be tenacious. You have to investigate every step of the way, and you have to know your business inside out. And you begin to do that, you know, as a new entrepreneur here at the incubator. Okay,
great. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, and I hope to invite you to our cheese tasting.
Definitely. Looking forward to it. All right, after the break, we will talk to another entity of the incubator, Target Alpena. Welcome back, everybody, from the break. Jim Claridge, the Executive Director of Target Alpena, who is a separate arm of the Chamber of Commerce, joins me now. Thank you for joining me, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Valina.
Yeah, so we're talking about the food incubator, and I understand that Target Alpena also had a big role in the food incubator up in Hillman.
That's correct. We, along with NAMCOG, Northeast Michigan Council of Governments, had originally funded or provided some funding to Mrs. Glee's Foods, who's in there today. Right. That has since, over the last year and a half, really morphed into the food incubator that's there today.
And what is your guys' role that you've been providing through partnership with NIMCOG?
In that way, it originally started out as a funding opportunity for us to fund the kitchens and that kind of thing. And it also includes working in partnership with the SBTDC, like Bruce Goldhammer, Carl Bordelay's group, to assist people that have a vision of being in the food industry, to take that from vision really to the end customer.
Right, right. And how do you guys do that? How do you guys help them get to that point?
It really starts out in some dialogue, really starts originally in my office, that works its way into the SBTDC. They assist in partnership with us. They assist in writing the business plan, developing the marketing plan, forecasting profit and loss sheets, and marketing efforts would be required in potential customers.
And so why is this so important, especially for local businesses here in Alpena County?
Well, it's up and above even in the food incubator. There's an opportunity that exists in Northeast Michigan that if you do have a vision to start your own business or for a new product, there's a process that you can use, and a lot of programs, mentoring programs, programs and assistance to get you from that vision to actually owning your own business.
And I think it's great that you guys are doing this because previously we talked to Kitty and she said there was just so much that goes into making your own business that some people might not know about.
Oh, exactly. You know, when I first met Kitty, I was very intrigued with what she did because it was very homegrown. It was done for herself or for her family, but it was a great product. It has a lot of potential in the marketplace, and she's seeing that now through the process that we described of writing the business plan, doing the forecasting, and actually getting her off of the ground. She has now grocery stores looking at her products. Like we had talked earlier before the show started, the majority of her supply chain of products that she uses to create what she makes, they come locally as well. So it's really a boost from the bottom to the top.
And so when startup businesses come to you guys and ask for help, what's kind of the process? How long does it take?
That depends on what it is, but we have the ability to take someone from that, let's say when they start their business plan, from business plan to, let's say, financial assistance, loans, or introducing them to commercial lending institutions and that thing, could take a couple of months depending on where they're at in that vision. Some people walk in with a very well-defined vision and this is what I'd like to do. Some people walk in and it's not very well defined, but it exists, and we start from scratch and we build it all the way to the back end. So it could take a month, it could take 2 months, it could take 3 months.
Right. And then funding, how do people get funding and obtain funding for their business?
Through Target, we have loan programs. We manage 2 federally funded loan programs, one through the EDA, or Economic Development Administration, the other one through the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. Those we could use in and out of county, so they're regional. We provide loans to people's or companies as far away as Sheboygan today, Hillman. So we can take that. Those are the two financial opportunities through Target. We also work in partnership with another organization called Northern Initiatives. They operate loan portfolios very similar to ours, but lot larger in scale. They operate them throughout the northern Michigan as well as the UP of Michigan. So in some cases we partner with them in loans. In some cases, we provide gap funding with local lending institutions, be it Bank of Alpena, First Federal, PNC, or any of the others. We work with those banks, and in some cases, even all 3 of us are involved in loans.
Okay. And is that a hard process? Because I know a lot of businesses starting up may think that it's just too hard to accomplish that, too hard to get a loan.
No, not really. One thing we should think about when people are thinking about launching their own businesses, there is an enormous base of resources in the people that want to help you. So you can get mentorship not only through us or through the SBTDC, but there is opportunities through local business people that are very much willing to help get people off of the ground.
Okay. And so being a part of the food incubator process, where do you see this going? Do you think that it'll open more opportunity to other businesses?
Oh, absolutely. I see if there are people that want to be in that food space, let's say that, and they're different. I mean, Mrs. Glee's Foods are, that's all gluten-free foods garnering a lot of attention around the state. Dee's Cheese, that is, her products they're being looked at by large grocery store chains and that kind of thing. There's going to be more of I think the opportunity to grow that segment of what we do, because we have a large agricultural area here, and we have the ability to capture some of the value add.
Right, and going off of that, how do you think this helps economic development here locally?
Well, it really helps the whole base. It really starts off at the supply base, whether it be local farmers and ag producers, to people who want to add value continually through that chain, to supplying that to out of region, let's say, stores. That's all good. That's all good for us in the region.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today here on Insights.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that will wrap up this edition of Insights. You can catch us back here next Sunday. Have a good one.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.